because a lot of people are saying that, Ansh, why are you telling us all of this theory? Trust me, by the end of this session, everything is going to make sense to you as to why I am teaching you all of this. You need to learn the basics. Most people think that they know basics, but when I speak to them, I understand that their core fundamentals are not strong. So now the question is that how is generative AI able to do all of these things? How was my Gemini talking to me in Hindi, English and Tamil? And the answer is hidden in the rise of LLMs. Now LLMs stand for large language models. Now this is very, very important because your child will need to know what is an LLM and which LLM is required for which task. For example, you will never send a swimmer to a cricket match. So just like a person has a special strength, LLMs will also have a special strength. Your OpenAI LLM will have its own strength. Your Gemini LLMs will have its own strength. But let's first understand what exactly are LLMs. Now the full form is large language model, and think of it as a system which has been trained to understand and generate human-like language. So what does that mean? The word large has been added here because it's been trained on massive amounts of data. Now this data is multimodal. Multimodal means that it can be text, it can be images, it can be videos, it can be a lot of content. And there's been a huge pre-training data that has been added here. The word language has been added because this time this LLM can understand and generate text in natural human language. And the word model has been added there because it's a system which predicts what word should come next in a sentence. But why did we require LLMs? And where exactly are we using these LLMs? When you go to chatgpt.com, ChatGPT is just the name of the website. So when you open up your phone and when you open Gemini or ChatGPT, you would always see this option called LLM. So if I go here to ChatGPT, and if the emojis are distracting, maybe we can disable the emojis so we don't get distracted. So I'll just ask my team to, probably remove it. So when we go to ChatGPT, can you notice how it says GPT 5.2, our flagship model? This is the actual LLM. If I go to gemini.google, can you see how it says Gemini 3, but here you have three different models. You have fast, you have thinking, and you have pro. And each of these LLMs have their own individual strengths. And if you do not understand the strengths of these LLMs, you will always end up making mistakes. But most students, most children, first of all, don't even know what is an LLM. And they don't even know how to compare LLMs. And even if they know the AI tool's name, they have no clue that they're talking about the website's name, not even the LLM. Your child has to learn about LLMs and not the name of the ChatGPT, not the name of Gemini. Gemini is just the name of the website. So Gemini is the app, and when you open up Gemini, the Gemini 3 Pro is the best LLM model, which is outperforming everything else. So this clarity has to be there first. Now let's do a fun demo. Before I start with the demo, as of February 2026, students or any person in general cannot blindly just accept AI results and skip their actual thinking. Anytime you use an AI tool, you need to follow this human in loop workflow. You can take a screenshot of this, and this workflow is currently being recommended by the giants of the AI industry. And your child needs to ingrain this human in loop workflow. If you do not understand how this works, you will make a mistake. Eventually, your brains will also slow down if you don't follow this framework. Let's just say that you are still confused about LLMs. So you go to something like ChatGPT and you click here on this voice icon. Hi ChatGPT, can you please explain LLMs to me as if I am a 10-year-old?
What you've got is a What you've got is a super smart digital brain that can read a ton of stuff, like stories, books, or websites, and then help you write or answer questions. You give it words, and it tries to guess the best words to say back, kind of like a super chat buddy.
Now let's just say that I've written a prompt. I'll show you something very cool. Create an image that explains this concept to a 10-year-old student. You will now see Chatgpt create a proper explainer poster for me. But the problem is that whatever I've asked right now, it was very simple. It was very basic. If a child is trying to plan a project, if you as a parent are trying to find the best college for your child, before you start using an AI tool, your first step should be to think about the problem. Now, this is very, very important. Please note this framework down because this is going to be extremely important. When I say that you need to think about the problem, you have to first ask yourself, what do we need to solve today? Why are we solving that? Is this the right problem to solve? And once the human has thought about the problem, the human has to prompt the AI tool. And most people don't even know how to prompt, because prompting is all about setting the right context. You have to set the right context of who you are and what is it that you want to achieve. Then AI will give you a result. And in most cases, majority of the cases, that result is not going to be good enough. So as a human being, you need to build on top of that result. You have to use your real human intelligence. And as an intelligent human being, whatever AI gives you, you have to build on top of it. Now, to build on top of it, you have to be better than AI. If you're not better than AI, how will you ever fix AI? And once you have built on top of the AI, the human being has to deliver it to the rest of the people. Now, in most cases, when you prompt an AI tool, the result is not going to be good enough, especially in the first attempt. So you have to send the prompt one more time. And once you've sent the prompt one more time, you have to go through an iterative loop. Students who do not understand this, students who do not learn these things properly, and parents who do not emphasize on this practice will face a huge problem. Because if you think that AI is a cheap replacement, you need to understand that it's almost like a friend who's just a little slow, a friend who's just a little sleepy. And I'll give you an example of something that has happened historically before, because history repeats its patterns again and again. When fat and sugar became very accessible, eating a lot of sugar, eating a lot of junk food without exercise created an imbalance between people. There was a huge obesity crisis earlier. If your child does not learn how to use AI properly, how to take their intelligence and combine it with AI, if they slow down, if they use it as an incorrect shortcut, what you will have is intellectual obesity in your child, which is a very, very serious problem. So setting the right mindset is very important for your child. Tell your child that instead of using AI results as your final submission, that, oh, whatever you get from AI, you submit that. Instead of doing that, you have to remind your child that you need to use AI results as the first draft. It should be your starting point. If you start using it as your end point, you are gone. You have officially lost your creativity. You have lost your thoughts to a machine. Most people think that the biggest risk to humanity is that machines will start thinking like humans. That is not the biggest risk. The biggest risk is that humans will start thinking like machines. I want you to think about that. If a machine starts to think like your child, that is great, because the machine would be able to help your child. But if your child doesn't learn AI properly, your child will start thinking like a dumb machine. And that is going to be a huge problem. So you need to tell your child that AI results are never your finish line. AI results are the baseline. And you know what? If there are 100 schools, only 10 schools might be teaching AI. And in those 10 rare schools, they are also teaching AI for the finish line. So even they are making blunders. Even if they are teaching AI, they are use casing it as a shortcut, as a substitute to your real intelligence. And if there's anybody here in the chat, you can confirm. I will not take any names, but I have met students. I keep asking students, what are they teaching you in school with AI? They're teaching kids how to use AI for their finish line. They are teaching kids how to use AI for their final draft. It's the worst thing that you can ever do for a child's brain. It is the absolute worst thing. So AI is not a shortcut. AI is like a friendly assistant. So the first takeaway that you need to have here, and please write this down, this is going to be a very important takeaway for all the parents, that you need to use AI for the first version of your work and not the final version. And it is so sad that in today's time, human beings are hooked on their phones and the machines are learning day and night. Machines are learning how to create art. Machines are learning how to create music. And what are humans doing? Your children are stuck on their iPads, stuck on their phones, watching reels day and night, playing video games that are also being created by AI. And there's a very popular joke in the market that, one day human beings will be replaced by robots, and even robots will start doom scrolling, because that actually means replacing us, because most people are not even working on themselves anymore. Most people have stopped reading. Most people have stopped writing. Now, moving forward, instead of using the word instructions, I will use the word prompt. So if I say that I'm prompting an AI tool, I will basically tell you how to give an instruction to an AI tool. And most people that I meet have overcomplicated prompting. They say that you have to follow a 10-step framework, this and that, and this plugin, that plugin. It's a complete waste of time. I'm telling you, it is all distraction. It is a huge mistake that people make when they overcomplicate prompting. I am about to give you the simplest, the most effective, the most practical framework you can ever use to write a good prompt. No matter what tool you are using, it can be Chatgpt,